once again, YouTube, back once again with my analysis of this game. See, analysis just makes me sound like I got all the wisdom when it comes to these games. And I was like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but sound effect. Anyway, so the nice games, I was like, obviously, Hawks, Celtics, and we'll do that one first. East Coast, so we're gonna start with that one first. I will get out the way. Um, I was like surprised that they won the game. I thought for sure going to be a sweep. Now like a little bit of a gentleman's play. I was like into another game I'll get to with the Timberwolves, but the whole thing with the Hawks winning in comparison with the Celtics really feel more that the fact that it's kind of like the Hawks played a really good game when the Celtics played a pretty good game. And by that, I'm saying that the Celtics, how great they can be on offense and defense, but just a bit below their mark. Like Jalenbrown didn't go. I was like, he didn't match like Tatum. Normally it's like they go basket for basket. You got a really good Marcus Smart game, and he was actually hitting a lot of his shots and whatnot. And you really wasn't getting points from Horford, but of course you have everybody playing like defense or whatever. You didn't like Derek White didn't go crazy. Brogdon gave you some like really good points, and normally in a game like that where you are able to get like Grant Williams, Smart, Brogdon, while Tatum is still nearing 30, that's a game that the Celtics really win. And so for the Hawks, I was like, Trae came out and sort of, it took him a minute, but he got his rhythm, and he was able to be putting up points how we know Traeyoung can put up points. I was gonna say Deontay Murray. Oh wait, yeah. I was like he also was matching the point and also had like a lot more intensity here. But what it sort of is that the fact that the other people also came to play. I was like, while they didn't have like crazy numbers as far as like Capella and Hunter or nothing like that. That's sort of around where they're at. But you got Bay and you got Bogdan points. And normally, I was like Bay. I was like, I like the Bay. I like the Bay acquisition when it happened because he's a really good 3-point shooter. You able to play him at 3-4. So when Collins is like how he was not having like a good game, it's like he can still pull up there and you're not going. It's not. And plus against the Celtics, you don't have to be crazy big anyway. But the fact that Bogdan came to play. And he's every now and then or whatnot. I guess streaky maybe is the word, but he seemed like a dude that from a couple years ago to now. But I feel like in this game, I was like from seeing just a little bit of like toward the end and seeing how they were playing at the beginning, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Y'all played a really like not perfect or nothing like that, but a really good game to where the Celtics just. It's one of those that sort of happened with like a top-notch team to where it's like, Murray and Young, I was like, they'll probably be able to put this amount of scoring because I was like, I feel like Young will be good where he'll be able to bring that same amount back. But will the rest of the supporting cast? We know the Celtics supporting cast will, and we know Brown is going to play better. And I was like, and that still was like a pretty close game too. So it wasn't like it was like, oh, they won and it was about like, that was really up to the last bit. Not like you had a Traeyoung 3 and a layup that was not luck, but basically it was like, oh, you need these and they got them. So we'll still see how that goes. Not gonna be that long. Next game up for everybody. My favorite, one of the matchups in the playoffs, Knicks and Cavaliers. And while the end score looks way worse than the actual game. It wasn't always like that, but it was sort of you could feel how the game was going with dudes like Garland and Mitchell. You're not out of the game just because Mitchell didn't have a good game. So, but you felt like I was like, but he can score at a timely rate to where just like you didn't need to chip away, get some buckets. But Mitchell has the ability to just heat up and just get on a hot streak. In saying that, he also can get on a cold streak as well. Sort of the thing that's about him. That sort of makes him, because it's like the whole thing between like, oh, they got Brunson, they didn't go after Mitchell, and all that other stuff, and that's sort of why it's like no matter how you sort of like feel about it, like to me, Brunson, I was like, it it's one of them things where it's like he's very crafty, and I think he's also another dude that's very tactical in how he plays. Also, because I was like, I think because he doesn't play like how Mitchell does, where Mitchell got the three, and it's like, oh wow, and he could dunk, and like out the gym. That Mitchell looks like, oh, that's the superstar player. When Brunson whole entire package is sort of like what you think of an overall basketball player in a sense. I was like, he's not, I was like, so I was seeing him like posting up dudes, and it made me think of back, like in like how when like Billups used to post up people, or Andre Miller used to post up people, where it's like, even if they don't have like necessary height, cause Brunson is, I was like, he's taller than Garland, but he's also bigger as well too, and he takes advantage of that size, and I think that's why a lot of his stuff works. Not only do he know angles and how to use his body of like pump faking people and getting them off their feet or whatever like that, but I think because he's actually so like big, like stocky, that also helps him a lot of times around getting around the big dudes. And speaking of that, uh first of all, they dominated once again over on boards against Cleveland. And it's one of them things where I was like looking at it. I was like, okay, you got Mobley and you got Allen. They're around like, Mobley's taller than Allen, but they're about the same type of like body type. But looking at everybody from Garland, Mitchell, Allen, Mobley, and then you look at Brunson, Hart, Toppin, Mitchell, Randle, Grimes, Barrett, who had a really great game today. And if you're going to have, I was like, get back to another point, but if you're going to have Brunson, who started out slow, but the way he plays, it seems like you don't ever have to worry about him getting his points. Because he'll take a couple three, but he's not three dependent. But he's so much of like, I'm going to get to the line, I'm going to get deep bucket, I'm going to go inside, I got the float and all this other stuff. He had a better chance to me of like, he's always going to get around 24 points and get into a flow of a game, because unlike most other players that's just like, I'm going to just take jump shot, sometimes you just stay on the cold streak, and that's sometimes what Mitchell can do, where it's like Mitchell he'll go to the basket, but his thing is shooting threes, and he gets so much in the threes that sometimes he'll just stay cold because of that. And it's not until you see him take it to the basket he gets warmed up. But I was like, but looking at the Cavs players and then looking at the Knicks players, you start to see. I was starting to notice that it's like, okay, not only they're dominant on the board, but it's like how when you think that Allen and Mobley, much taller dudes, much lankier dudes, but one, I don't think they have. I think they don't have the same type of toughness as Cleveland, and I think where that sort of plays in is the fact that they're like bigger, they're bigger than Mobley and Allen and Garland and Mitchell, as far as like you got a really short backcourt with a really tall front court, but they're all really like skinny and lanky in a way that all the Knicks players are really like like beefy, buff. Not, I was like, I don't like to really say buff because it makes it sound like they're like jacked or something like that. But I was like, what? I was like they eat meat and potatoes or whatever people like to say. So I was like, so far we've seen one close game and two blowouts, but I feel like the Knicks blowout is way more repeatable just because if they're going to get boards like that, then that just gives them extra points. And it's like you can't keep giving extra points when you got Emmanuel Quickly and Brunson able to get to the basket. And not saying like these other players don't, but Hart is sort of like a do-it-all type of dude. But Mitchell and Harstein, whatever, on the inside, and not Mitchell, Randle can also play on the inside, but it's like you're gonna give him a couple chances at the three, he's going to eventually knock those shots down. So in saying that, I feel like they're like it's almost like you're gonna need Garland, and you like they had like LeVert also play a really good game, and it's like, are you going to get that from LeVert again? In comparison, and Mitchell and Garland, I feel like have to do so much more on the offensive end compared to the Knicks, who have so many other in their supporting cast. Not the same as the Celtics, but you can see in their matchups in comparison to the other team that they have more depth to use in that situation. Like Cleveland got Osman and Okoro had a couple points, but they're really giving you nothing. There's really nobody on their bench in comparison. Just like how the Celtics has way more people on their bench compared to the Hawks. And in saying that, to the next game of the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, talk about a supporting cast. That's really, to me, how the Nuggets is really beating the Timberwolves. Yes, I was like, obviously, they're a better team, but they're, to me, the Nuggets is probably one of the fewer teams that like maybe not the team, but more so this game of like this series is sort of where the box scores don't do it justice. Like you could see that like Anthony Edwards, first of all, that's your franchise player. Whatever this is about karlanthonytowns, I was like, who finally showed up and had a really good game. But I was like, but Anthony Edwards, that dude. If it ain't for him, these games ain't even close. I was like, that dude's on defense, on offense. He blocking shots. He running corner to corner, court to court, sideline to sideline. This man doing it all, and everybody else is sort of just, eh. And that's sort of the disappointing part, is the fact that karlanthonytowns had a really good game. And while yes, I thought that like the Hawks, they were going to be able to pull out a victory, and I'm sort of like, if they didn't win today, they're not going to win, cause Gobert giving you the amount of points he's going to give you. He got like 17, 18 like the last couple games. This one he gave you 19 before he fouled out, and that's just where he's going to be at. Like, and unless Conley comes out and show out and have something from like 10 years ago, or Alexander Walker just scores or something, which I mean, like, they're putting him on Murray and he's getting cooked a lot, but there's really nobody else for you to really throw on him. But also too, I'm kind of like, you need a third person on offense, because you're playing against Jokic, who is eating up Gobert in every single way. And you got Porter and you got Murray, who both can give you 25 like that. And especially Murray, he could double that. Then you got somebody like Gordon, who is just like, he's giving you like 12 to 15, but it's really like he don't have to, like, because, he's playing defense on the other side. And also, like, like, we know, like, like if he has to, he can score. I was like, you don't just like lose your ability to score from like when like when he was in Orlando or whatever. But he don't have to do that here. But if you also got KCP giving you like double digits, you got Bruce Brown out here also giving you like double digits. You got that dude Braun out here giving you about like 8. Like there's, and you got like Jeff Green over here pulling. I was like showing up, Uncle Jeff. Uh, if you got all of these people, there's no way the Wolves can win. Kyle Anderson is not giving you anything, and he's not even seeming like how he was with the Grizzlies. With the Grizzlies, he seemed to fit in where he's a point forward type of dude, a couple threes here and there. He doesn't even seem like maybe it's just a combination of him with Gobert and Towns that's really just seemed like it's really just a clogged mess. I was like, Prince is not giving you. I mean, granted, like I'm like, see, look, I'm naming people, and I'm like, we gotta, if I'm over here like, Taurean Prince ain't giving you enough points, and Alexander Walker, and I was like, then you're in more trouble than you probably seen, because Anthony Edwards been busting everybody ass and 30 points, and this dude coming to play, and he's had him in a couple games. And despite how Gobert, I don't understand how they got Gobert and Anthony Towns, 2 7-footers. And I get it when Anthony Towns be like on the perimeter, but I don't understand how both of those dudes are in the paint and they're still scoring on these dudes. You got 2 7-footers, and one of them's supposed to be hanging his head on defense, because you got to. You can't hang his head on offense, and yet they are still scoring. Jokic is. I was like, I get that Gobert gonna get back down by him, but I don't understand. Y'all are tall, and big. Just stay like this in a lot of situations. I don't get it. Like, I get Gobert's not gonna go to the perimeter, so they're gonna get eaten up all day. Around the town ain't really gonna go to the perimeter. He getting eaten up all day, but in the inside, I'm just like, it's ridiculous that y'all dudes are just like not only getting like manhandled or like pushed through, but also the fact that y'all so tall and people, and they're still just getting buckets over them. And I was like, I get Jokic being great or whatnot, but some of the stuff is just like, come on, man. Like it's not like, oh man, he got you on like 3-pump fakes. He had to do a fadeaway. He put some like English on the ball. Nah, nope. It's just really just straight up. It is straight up. Like, it's just like, oh, one move, flip it, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, there was a couple times that I just seen Gobert where I'm kind of just like, I'm like, just be tall over the dude. Just be like I forget what play. I think it might have been. It might have been in the fourth quarter. I can't forget who, but they went baseline, and the defender in front of him had him stopped, and Gobert was supposed to come there for the double team, and he just sort of went up, and the dude put the ball up, and then after the ball's up, Gobert jumps. I was like, that's some shit you see in 2K, where it's just like, they jumped too late, and I'm like, oh, that's what I expected NPC to do. Anyway, this looked like a game that. I don't also understand that I'm like, karlanthonytowns are not fast enough to beat Gordon, so that 4 matchup is on the perimeter is not good. It's not working, and I don't understand why they just don't. And I was like, I get you have to play Gobert because you gave him all that stuff, but I don't understand. But I was like, they to me they just need to stagger them in where karlanthonytowns is at the 5 when you have in Edwards or you need to have one of the big men, like at the end of the game. I mean, at the beginning of the game, end of the game, whatever. But y'all need to stagger them in, because I think that way karlanthonytowns can do a little something to Jokic. Where it's like if he's out for the 3, yes, you might still have Gordon over him, whatever like that. But that means that whoever the matchup on Jokic should be able to have an advantage. I ain't a coach. I ain't a professional. I'm just over here spitballing ideas because nothing's working, and y'all need help, and Jesus ain't taking the wheel on this one. Anyway, I still, God, I guess this is game 3, and they lost. Cause I was like, if you would have told me that the Hawks got a win before the Timberwolves, I guess I could see it because the cast is different. But I thought the Timberwolves at least had to get one, just because I was thinking like, oh, you might have Edwards and Towns both go bonkers for one game, and it ain't happening. So this one looks like you're gonna have to get that Mr. Clean commercial out, cause yo, this is clean up, this wrap, sweep, underneath the rug, whatever you want to do, get rid of the dust bunnies. It's a wrap. Anyway, so that's my little small chunk what I seen, his opinion, whatever, thoughts, all that. Anyway, if you like what I have to say, I appreciate it. Thanks. If not, hey, always next time. Anyway, until then, that's it. Whatever. Anyway, peace out. Deuces.